Like many of the other webcasts that I've done, I just wanted to take a minute to go over some of the important aspects of forecasting and the assignment that's going to be due at the end of the week. I believe that's, what is it, Saturday, uh, uh, what would it be? Saturday, I think December 3rd, but not exactly sure. But generally, it's our forecasting model. What I brought up for you here is QM for Windows. In our course Moodle shell, I've identified two different tools that you can use. Both work fine. One is a real straightforward Excel macro. You click it. Actually, I should say Excel template. It's a great computing decision analysis tool for working with moving averages, exponential smoothing, trend adjustment, and it also does linear forecasting. This tool is QM for Windows. Of course, I brought it up a couple of times as the tool for linear programming, but I think it's probably superior in this case. I would like to take you really quickly through QM for Windows with the forecasting tool. Then I'm going to go into the oil futures, straight Excel, and maybe look at a process very quickly. All of these are really just touching on these important assignments, issues, and it'll be up to each and every student to really produce something that looks great, professional, and all that. With QM for Windows, simply upload it. You can find the site in our Moodle shell. Once it's uploaded, click on Module, go down to Forecasting. You can see all the other tools that are available for you. And this one, you'll need Forecasting. Click on that, and then File, and we're going to go with a new data set. We can select from time series analysis, least squares, regression, projector, or error analysis. Oh, that's not what I wanted. We're going to be going with time series analysis. Click on that. And we've got 12 past data periods, I believe. I'm going to just label these January, February, March, April. You could actually choose the start date. Oh, what the heck, let's go with November. And click OK. And there it sets up our data. Actually, I've already pre-loaded this. Let's just see if it'll do it for me, if I can just paste that in. And there it goes. I pasted in all the assignment data from our course shell, which worked out rather well. Now, I can do any of the tools I want. I simply hit on the drop-down menu, and that allows me to present that data. I can choose, for instance, moving averages, exponential smoothing, linear regression, least squares. In this situation, I'll do a moving average. And I want 3-period moving average, so I click 3, of course, right there. And frankly, it's all I do is solve. What it presents for me is the important data. I get my most important next period forecast, in which is 13.7 units. It also gives me important data such as my mean absolute deviation. Generally, the lower the mean absolute deviation, the better your forecast. I can also bring up the graph right here, and it shows me my actual data as well as my forecast. So I can see that smoothing effect that is pulled together by my moving average, because what that's going to be doing is adding up the first 3 pieces of data divided by 3, and it provides us with this forecast of about, was it 4.1. Then it takes the next 3 pieces of data, divides it by 3, and it gives us our next forecast. rather than have these gyrations in data, it provides a smoothing effect and provides us a reasonable forecast. Is that a good forecast? I'd say it's not particularly bad. Incidentally, we can also go over here and adjust the forecast to a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 period moving average. I'll go back to a 2. Yeah, actually I even kind of like the 2 a little bit better. Better smoothing effect. But that's a quick overview on QM for Windows. I will now turn my attention to Excel and close that out. Okay, Excel is right here, the huge data set that we have. And with regard to this, it's really your opportunity to do something special with data. Here, what I'm going to do is just go through and highlight that data cell. Incidentally, to do that easily, click on the cell. I like to grab the label and just go right to the bottom of the data, which is about 7,000 pieces of data. Go down, hold down the Shift key, and then select left click, and it'll highlight all that data for you. Next, go to Data, and then over to Data Analysis, right over Solver, just like old times. Click on Data Analysis, and it'll give you a window for all the different opportunities. You can do descriptive statistics, exponential smoothing, moving averages. Again, we'll do a moving average here just to keep it consistent. Clicked on the moving average, click OK. And, I highlighted that data, but of course that didn't matter. Again, click on, in this situation, the last piece of data. Go the whole way up to the label. Hold down on the Shift key and left click, and it gives you that information. I'm going to do actually a 300 period moving average. I'm using the label as the first row, and I also have to identify where I want this graph to appear. I'm going to put it on G3 or G4. I want the chart output, and I also want the standard error, and I click OK. And what that'll do is it'll calculate all of the variation. That all says not applicable. You just go down because the first 300 pieces of data are not used, and so they're going to come out as an NA. Here we've got our exponential smoothing model, and it'll really be up to each student to pull together a graph. Yeah, nice smoothing effect. I kind of like that 300 period moving average. There's a lot going on here, and we would want to set that up as a better table. Click on design, find something that works a little better. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this, but I'll click on that one, see what we have. Ish, yeah, not so good. But here we are, and I'll let you go through the process of developing the y-axis. Of course, that's the price per barrel of oil. By the way, look at that upshot at over $140 per barrel, and now we're sitting somewhere around 33, 34. It'll be interesting what you people feel is the appropriate forecast moving forward. The last one, since we do have a moment or two, let's see how this goes, and that is, see if we can grab the template, and I'll just click on that very quickly. Yeah, this is the Excel template that we could use for the data. Again, the graph is not as dramatic, as dynamic, as fluid as you have with some of the other tools. Let me enable editing. Okay, I'll just put in data 1, 2, 3, 5, whoops, 5, 8. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't provide the presentation. Also, what I've done is I've inserted that data into the linear trend model. You can choose that. You can do seasonal trend adjustments. Going over, it's got simple moving average, our 3-period moving average that we've had from earlier. Yeah, it won't let me paste that data, unfortunately. Let me see if I can just copy. Oh, copy and paste that right in. There it is. So it gives us our data. There's a problem with this, 14. Yeah, a little bit of a problem with that particular piece of data for reasons that are inexplicable. Yeah, I'll have to go back. But as you can see, the presentation of data isn't quite as good. I do appreciate the descriptions not only of the simple moving average, but also the equation for the simple moving average, the mean absolute deviation, and some of the other pieces of information. And you can get this not only here, but you can also get it on the internet without too much problem. The presentation for me is the big problem. However, this is all very acceptable, and we would be able to get the mean absolute deviation and the mean squared error if it weren't for this small problem that we've got with period number 10 and a data point of 14. However, these three approaches are very effective for developing the assignment that we've got. We've got the 3 different problems. 2 would most likely work very well with this template or QM for managers. Of course, the barrel of oil, 7,000 pieces of data are not going to work with either of those 2 programs. This one only goes up to a high of 60 pieces of data. I believe QM for managers goes only as high as 90 pieces of data. So you can start to see some of those limitations. I hope this was of value. Have a great day, and